you need to focus on one thing: making your first $10,000. When I was 18, I had no money and no qualifications, but I did have big ambitions. Instead of worrying about making millions, I set myself the smaller, more achievable goal of making 10K. Now, as a self-made millionaire, I can tell you that first $10,000 was the hardest to make, but once I hit it, everything changed. It wasn't just about the money, it was about proving to myself that making money is a skill and not luck. Once I figured out how to make 10K once, I knew I could do it again and again and eventually scale it into real wealth. So if I had to start from zero and make that first $10,000 all over again, this is exactly how I do it. When you're just starting out, you need something that requires a small amount of money to begin with and constantly puts cash in your pocket every day. When you strip away all the noise, there are only really 4 options. I've tried all of these, and take it from me, this choice is crucial. Option 1 is selling in-person services. Look, you've probably heard of these before, but I'm talking personal training, delivery driving, dog walking, nail designing, barbering, videography, and so many more. Although these services sound so common and basic, they're actually one of the fastest ways to make money. So don't overlook them, as they give you a way to get paid immediately. It's also pretty cheap to get started. All you need is some skills and maybe a few tools, which means you can get up and running very quickly. If you choose to do this, then please don't mess around trying to build a website, run ads, or make a logo. Just get out there, find some customers in your local area, deliver the service, and get paid. So in-person services are great to get started with, but you can quickly feel like they're limiting your potential. That brings me on to option 2, which is local products. This is selling things like home-baked goods, handmade items, artwork, fresh produce, and much more. This can be a great way to make money, but it's not something that happens overnight. Unlike services where you get paid as soon as the job's done, selling local products takes time. Option 3 is global products. This includes starting a clothing brand, drop shipping, sneaker reselling, print on demand, and so much more. Unlike in-person services or local products, going global means you have access to a much larger customer base, which gives you more opportunities to make money. However, you should only do this if you have the patience to wait 1 to 3 months for everything to start kicking off. So when this is up and running, it is probably the most passive, laziest way to make money that actually works. So that brings us on to option 4, selling online services. This option wasn't actually possible for me when I was younger, but this is such an advantage nowadays. There are so many different online services you can offer. These include copywriting, video editing, thumbnail design, running ads, social media management. The list goes on. Selling online services actually combines the 2 biggest benefits from the in-person services and global products. This is because you get the global reach, but the profit margins of a service. With products, you might make 20 to 30% margin that needs to be reinvested. With services, you're looking at 70 to 80% margins that go straight into your pocket. Plus, you can start making money from day one. Look, all of these are fantastic ways to make $10,000 as a student, especially these last 2 options. However, if I wanted to start making money as fast as possible, then I'd go with option 4, selling online services. So now we need to figure out exactly what online service to offer. The sweet spot is where your answers overlap. Most people get stuck at this stage as they spend months or even years trying to perfect their skill before offering it to anyone. That is totally backwards. You need to start getting real-world experience as quickly as possible. So start by setting your prices under the normal market rate. Your main aim here is to earn and learn at the same time. This one step further. This is the skill pyramid, made up of 4 elements that, when mastered together, transform a high-income skill into a $10,000 income. Miss just one and you'll stay stuck at the bottom, working hard but never breaking through. Element 1 is positioning. You see, not all online services are equal. The real money is in offering to help businesses make more money. That's because businesses think about money differently to individuals. When a business is making $50,000 a month, spending $2,000 to solve a problem isn't a big deal, as long as it helps them make more money. And take it from me, they have a lot of these problems. They need more customers, they need better systems, they need to stand out from their competition, and they need to convert more leads into sales. These problems never go away, and businesses are always willing to pay to solve them. On top of this, some industries simply have more money to spend than others. And if you think about how you can reposition yourself, you'll start making real money faster. Here are some ideas to get you thinking. Instead of being a video editor for small YouTubers, you could edit videos for an entrepreneur who sells a product. If you make random thumbnails for clients, you could instead aim to become the main designer for an established creator. And if you're a copywriter, don't write cheap articles. Instead, focus on optimizing landing pages. This isn't about learning more skills. It's about putting yourself where the money's being made. Element 2 is leverage. You'll never make $10,000 without leveraging value over time. Businesses don't pay for effort, they pay for results. If you stop charging for the hours you work and instead for the return on investment you provide, you'll instantly make more money. Let's say you choose to run Facebook ads. If you charge per hour, you're stuck with a fixed rate, and the client will always want to keep your hours low. But if you charge based on the money you bring in for the business, suddenly they're not thinking about cost, they're thinking about profit. And when they see that your work is directly making them money, they'll happily pay you more for it. The same goes for if you decide to offer social media management. If you just schedule posts and reply to comments, you're replaceable. But if you can prove that your strategy is bringing in more engagement, more leads, and more sales, you become a valuable asset, not just an expense. Trust me, the moment you shift your pitch from what you do to what they gain, you'll find a lot of people are suddenly willing to pay a lot more. Element 3 is reach. One of the biggest mistakes people make when starting out is thinking they always have to chase clients, but that's not how the game should be played. Right from the start, you need to be thinking about how to make clients come to you. Recently, I was looking for a graphic designer for a specific task, making movie-style posters. So the first thing I did was look on TikTok for people who made these kinds of designs, and one person dominated the search results. So I reached out to him and asked him for his prices. He told me he was just posting some of his designs for fun on TikTok. He wasn't even doing it as a side hustle, so politely declined. However, his videos kept growing in popularity and his inbox was flooded with DMs asking to work with him. A few weeks later, he reached back out to me asking how to start getting paid. I helped him set up a proper business and now he works for me and many other clients. This just goes to show that you should always be putting your work out there online, even if you're just starting out or just doing something because you enjoy it. You never know what opportunities might come from it. So if you edit videos, show before and after clips to highlight how much better your edits make the content. If you design thumbnails, explain why your design got more clicks. And if you're learning social media, document how you're growing an account from scratch. Element 4 is automation. 95% of people that try to start a side hustle or business fail before they even really get going. Here's why. After working with countless copywriters, thumbnail designers, web developers and video editors, I can tell you that 95% of them promise to deliver on time, then completely miss their deadlines. The thing that will make you stand out the most isn't talent or charisma, it's reliability. And overlooking this is the biggest mistake young people make when starting out. The people I've ended up paying thousands to aren't always the best at what they do, but they're the most organized. They never miss deadlines, they always communicate clearly, and they make working with them effortless. So take it from me, being good at what you do is one thing, but being reliable is what gets you paid again and again. So how do you do this? Well, the most successful people I know don't rely on memory or messy notes. They use automation. And if you're thinking about making money online, you need something to help you keep track of everything.
So, focus on finding that service or product people will pay right now.